Hi, I'm George Pearson, and in this Photoshop video, we'll be doing this Photoshop logo design with the text in a circle right around the logo. Now, if you like this video, make sure you hit that like button and, of course, share. You can support my channel through Patreon. Don't forget to subscribe. I do a bunch of videos every single week. And take a look at my training course for Photoshop. You'll find a link for that right down there in the description. Okay, let's get to it. We'll start this project off with a brand new file. I'll just close that. There we go. File new. And we'll set this at the default Photoshop size, which is right there. And create. It's 7 inches wide by 5 inches tall. We now need a couple of guidelines, a vertical and a horizontal, centered in here. So we'll put those in. Go up to View. Come down here to New Guide. Horizontal is going to be at 2.5 inches, which of course is half of 5. Let's go back up here to View and New Guide. This time changes to vertical at 3.5. Okay. Let's just get things set up here. Go up here to Properties, and let's set our foreground background color correctly, and then Fit Screen. Looks good. Now we'll be drawing a circle in here centered on these crosshairs. So we'll go up to the ellipse tool right there. Let's then go up here to the options and first set the fill at nothing like that. That's fine. Set the stroke at black so I can actually see what we're doing. And actually there's black right there. And set this at 3 pixels. This will just let you see where that circle is. Then go over here to the options and come down here. We want fixed size at 1000 by 1000 pixels and drawn from center. When you do the fixed size, all you have to do is just click on the page and it then draws it at that size, supposedly. We'll see how this goes. So I'll come down right onto that center point, which is right about there, and click. Now I often see this happen where the create ellipse goes back to a default of 100 by 100. So I would just double check this before you do anything else. Make sure this has the right settings in it, and then choose OK. Alright, there's our basic circle. We'll be using 2 circles for this project, an outside circle and an inside circle. Let's go ahead and draw the inside circle now. We can keep all these settings over here the same. Go over here, and all I want to do is just change the fixed size to 750 by 750. So there's one. There's the other. That should work for us. Come back down to the middle here and click. And again, it's back to the 1000 by 1000. So as I said, always double check these settings just in case they decide to change to something different. Choose OK. There's our inner circle. We'll be changing that outline later on to make it look a bit better, but that's the basic circle placement. Let's now put our top text in here. So let's go over to the type tool right there. And I have this set at the horizontal type tool. I'm using Arial Black at 28 points. This is just kind of a nice basic size that will fit in here. And the Arial Black is just a thick sans serif typeface. Over here on color, now I'm using a specific color right down here. It's 9DCB02. And this is based on the color from the trees, which we'll be bringing in later. So that's our color. The text should be centered. And then bring the character panel up over here on the right-hand side. And let's make sure that all of these settings in here are at their basic settings. This one should be at 0, for instance. That should be at 100. That's fine. That's 100. That's fine. That's 0. 28 point. That's correct. Auto. That's correct. And then right here, I have this set for small caps. Okay, now that everything is set, come over in here. Now, if you go right over the circle, notice I get kind of an eye-bar there with a little squiggly line on that, kind of S-shaped line. That will put your text on that circle. So, not inside. See how there's a circle around it? And there's kind of a squiggly line, and there's a box around it. You want that squiggle line right there. Okay, so come right onto the center, and just come straight down to see that squiggly line right there. Click there. And there's your insertion point. Let's go ahead now and put in our text. There it is. As you can see, it puts the text right on that line right there. We want it off of the line a little bit, and we can do that by shifting the baseline up. And that will move that away from that line. And the baseline is right here. And I have mine set for 5. Make sure we just double click. There we go, triple click actually. Okay, 5. And that moves it off that line just a little bit like that. There we go, and that happens to be just the right amount to center it nicely inside of our circle. Okay, that's our top text. Go ahead and click on the green check mark to set that in place. We'll now do our bottom text down below. This is just a little bit trickier. Same idea. Come down here to the ellipse 2, which is our inside of circle, and then come right down the middle here. Don't go right on the exact center. Come just a hair off to the right side. And make sure you see that insertion bar. If you don't see that, then try that again. Okay, let's go ahead and put in our second line here. Palm Springs, CA for California. Okay, now we need to get this reading the right way. Triple click on your text. That selects that whole line of text. It has to be selected for this. Go up to Edit, come down to Transform Path, and then flip vertical right there. And that puts it in the right direction, but it's the wrong side. We need now to rotate this around, spin this around. So let's hide the top layer of text so it doesn't get in our way. And then triple click to select this text. Back up to Edit, come down to Transform Path, and rotate. And then on the rotation, which is right here, set this at 180. That's on the wrong side of our circle line here, but we can fix that with a baseline shift again. And that's right there. Just triple click. And let's change the baseline here to a -26. And that brings it down just like that. Just brings it down just a little bit. Now if it's a bit too much, you can adjust as needed. Let's go to a 25. I think maybe a little bit smaller than that. 24 looks pretty good this time. There we go. So Palm Springs, CA. Let's go ahead and show our top text again. And there we go. There's the text at the top, reading correctly. Text at the bottom, reading correctly. And for the image, go up here. I have an image. You can download this one from the web. I have a download link for that. Let's go over here to open. And it's right there, just a palm tree right there. Little PNG file. Bring that in. Then I'll just drag this over here onto that file. There we go. So there's our PNG file. Notice that it has a white background. We need to remove that white background. I'm going to hide everything else, but first let's grab this one. I'm going to rename this one Palm Tree so it's easy to find. There we go. And I'll put it down above the ellipses, below the text. Let's just go ahead and hide everything else just for a minute here. Come down to your background layer, and let's put a new layer above that layer. I'll just use the new layer button right there and fill that with black. So we can now easily see that white background on the palm tree layer. There it is. Okay, let's zoom in. And we'll use the magic wand in here and see what kind of a selection we get. It looks pretty good. I see a little bit right in here that we didn't catch and right there that we didn't catch. So go up here to the options, make sure you're on Add to Selection, and let's click in there and click in there. And that looks like now we have the whole thing selected. If you look outside here, you notice that we selected the white and not the palm tree. So we need to invert this selection. Go up to Select, come down to Inverse. Now the palm tree is selected, which means all we have to do is just hit the Layer Mask button. There we go. Now we can take a look at this and see if there's anything else. There's a little bit right here, a little bit right there that's going to be causing us problems. Those little bits in there, that's not going to be an issue. But those two might be a problem. Let's go ahead and clean those out. Same thing, magic wand. Let's just click inside there. Now on the layer mask side over here right now, so grab the paint bucket, set this at black in the foreground and click inside there, and that should clean that out. Okay, hold the space bar down, do the same thing up here. Again, magic wand, click inside, paint bucket, and there we go. If you want to be real tricky on this thing, you can go around and catch all the rest of those little spots in there, but that's not really going to matter on this particular project. Let's go ahead and do a deselect, set this back to fit screen, and we can now hide that black layer. So there we go. Looks pretty good. Okay, let's bring our circles back in again. We now need to do 3 different things with this palm tree. There's a tall tree in the back, and then a tree to the left and a tree off to the right. So we need to have 3 trees. So I'm going to take this layer here and duplicate this 2 times. Right click and then duplicate layer right there. Come back down to the same layer again, right click, same thing, duplicate layer, and okay, so 3 copies of that. Let's now hide our 2 top copies and look at just the bottom copy. Now for this one, bring the tree up until it's just coming a little bit over that center circle at the top, just like that. We'll be overlapping the lettering in there. Let me just show you that top lettering again. So it overlaps a little bit into the letters just underneath the P right there. And that's pretty good. Right in there is pretty nice. Okay, now I want to take the trunk of the tree here and stretch this down towards the bottom. And to do that, I'm going to zoom in nice and tight here. And then on that layer, let's take the polygonal lasso tool over here. I'm going to make a selection from right about here. And that can be outside just a bit. Stay away from those leaves. And then around the base, that's fine. And then back, and I'll come up quite a ways up here. And then back down and around that one leaf. Right there. Let's now take this off of this layer and put it on its own layer. Let's go up to Layer and the new via cut. So it's now a separate layer from the previous layer. Now, back to fit screen. We can take this new layer here. I'm just going to call this one Trunk. So we know what it is. There it is. Back to our Move tool. And then on that layer, use the Control-T keyboard shortcut. Brings up our control handles. Then just grab the bottom handle and pull that straight down. And then lift it up until it overlaps into the tree again. So we want it overlapping up here and then down close to the bottom like that. Doesn't have to be right at the bottom, but pretty close. That looks pretty good right down about there. Okay, there's our first tree. Let's now go up here to our second one. That's right here. Pull this one straight down. And this time we'll be rotating that tree around. Let's just zoom in just a bit here. That's better. And we'll just rotate the whole layer here. So let's Edit, Transform, Rotate. I'll just grab the corner here and spin this around. Oh, about that far. Looks like that's maybe about 25. In here, -25 if you want to type it in. Looks nice. And then position that right over here somewhere. It just fills in that side. So that's 2 ways of working with our trees. Let's now bring in our next tree right here and make sure we're on the right layer. Top layer here. Pull that one down again, pull it over a little bit. And I want this one bending over to the right. So for that bending trick, we need to do a little special bit of work on this one. The first thing we need to do is to collapse this layer mask down onto the layer. So right click on the name, and where it says Convert to Smart Object, choose that. Right click again on the name, and now choose Rasterize Layer. Now it's just a graphic at this point. Okay, now go up to Edit, come down to Puppet Warp, and I'm going to zoom in just a touch. Go ahead and apply that. This might be a bit easier to see for right there. Okay. Edit and Puppet Warp. Now with this, you put pins on these cross positions in here. So come down to the bottom and put a pin right there and a pin right there. So 2 pins down towards the bottom of the trunk. And then go up here to the middle of the tree and just grab the middle and then pull the tree over like that. Put it right about over in here someplace. Kind of filling up that area over it there on the right hand side. And then choose OK. Alright, let's go ahead and go back to fit on screen. So there's our 3 palms. Now the base looks kind of weird down here, so we'll fix that. There's a little bit of something showing up down here. We'll take care of that as well. Let's just see where that one is. That is going to be on the trunk layer. Okay, trunk layer. And I'll just grab the eraser tool in here. Let's just erase that. That's fine. Okay, come up to your top palm tree layer. Make a new layer above that. There it is. Grab the polygonal lasso tool. Come over here someplace. Now I have my feathering set at 0 and anti-alias is checked. So feather 0, anti-alias checked. Then come right over here, right on this side. Click right there, and then let's create a new bottom shape in here. Come out on that end, and then just bring it up and around. We can get those little thin lines out at the same time here. Go back to the beginning. There it is. We'll be filling this with that green color. So let's grab the foreground eyedropper, grab that color right there. That looks good. Let's grab the paint bucket and then just fill that shape. And then deselect. There it is. Okay, our palm trees are all now done pretty much. Just go back to fit screen. Because it's kind of complicated here, I'll be putting all the palm trees into a group. So here's our top layer. That's the grass layer. I'm just putting grass so you don't forget. Come down to the palm tree here. Let's just put those into a group. And there it is. We can call this group palm trees. With that, we can now work on this whole palm tree set just like that. So I'll put it right here. I'm going to enlarge it just a little bit. Do the Control-T keyboard shortcut or control handles. Now this works on the whole group at this point. We can now pull the bottom down just a little bit until it comes just over that line right there. So that's good placement on that. And then choose OK. Now I want to have that bottom be exactly lined up with that circle. That's pretty easy to do. Hold the Control key down, click on the thumbnail here for Ellipse 2. That makes that selection. We're still on palm trees. Hit the Layer Mask button. That gives us a layer mask like that for the palm trees. So there it is. Now we lost the bit up here at the top, so we need to bring that back in again. Now white shows it, as you can see, black hides. So if I paint white up here on the layer mask, it will show those leaves. So let's change over to the white. Grab the paintbrush and then just paint some white right there over those leaves to show those leaves again. Okay, palm trees are now finished. Let's now bring our text back in again and finish up with the circles. Okay, let's go to our top ellipse right here. And let's bring up the properties for that. Here's our properties. And I want to change the fill right here to white. And that's right there. Come down to the first ellipse. That's our lower ellipse. Go up to the fill. And this time I want to type in a specific color. It's kind of a blue color. But the number for this one is 0054A6 right there. 0054A6. Choose OK. And that fills that outer circle. Now it's filled all the way through. The white is sitting on top of that blue. Let me just demonstrate that real fast here. Let me hide the top ellipse. There it is. Just like that. Okay. So that's all set. Let's now put an outline around our text. Let's go back to our text here. Now for this I'll use the layer styles. That's layer style right here. We'll be doing a stroke. Now what I used was a color of white. There it is. Size is set at 5 pixels and the position is at center. And choose OK. Do the exact same thing for the bottom text. Either repeat those last steps or even easier, just right click on the name here and choose copy layer style. Come down to the second text, right click, and then paste layer style, and they now match. Okay, the text is now finished. We now need to have our lines in here, and there are three basic lines. There's an outline around the inner circle, an outline around the outer circle, and then a stroke outside of that, which we'll be putting in last thing. So let's go to our top ellipse here. This is the white ellipse. And go back up here to our stroke. Click on the stroke color. And then go over here to our color picker right there. And again, a special color on this one. This is 00B9FF. Might as well just copy that. Right click and copy. We'll be using it again in a second. So it's kind of a nice light blue. And then up here, let's set this at 10 pixels. And there you go. Nice little thin light blue in here. Notice that goes in behind the palm leaves and it's in behind the grass at the bottom. That's perfect. Do the exact same thing for the blue ellipse, our dark blue ellipse here. Back up here to the stroke, which is right there. Click on the color picker. This is why I just copied that. So right click and paste that in, and then change the size here to 10. Hit the enter key, and there's our second thin blue line. Okay, the last line is a thin white line, also 10 point, but it's outside here. You can't see it against the white. So now is the time to bring in our background picture. I'll come down here just where that layer 1 is and open up our picture. So File and Open. I have this also as a download, and you'll find the link for that in the description. Choose Open. There we go. I'll just drag that in like that and then close this picture down. Now it's not exactly the right size. It's just being used kind of as a background placeholder in here. So Control T, and let's resize this to fit our page. There we go. Looks nice. Now it's too intense, obviously. If you like that, that's fine, but I'm going to make this a lot lighter just by changing the opacity here to 25%. Okay, last little thing, I want a white line around this first ellipse. We'll do that with a layer style. Go up to Layer, come down to Layer Style and Stroke. It's already set at white. Change the position here to outside, and then change the size to 10. So what that gives us is a double line up here. The first one was placed in on the properties for the circle as the circle's stroke, and the second one was layer style outside. That just helps to separate that from the picture in behind. It would look real nice even if I had that picture in full value. I'm going to set this back here to 100 so you can see that. So it looks real nice like that. Kind of sits nicely on the image. That's why I did that, in case you want to use this picture on photographs. I'm going light really just for this YouTube video so it shows up better for you. Last little thing in here, let's just get rid of these crosshairs. View, I'll uncheck extras. Okay, the one thing I didn't mention, I said I was going to, was showing you how I got this color in here for the text, which we used previously. All I did was I took my color here, the eyedropper from the color picker, and I chose the light green. That gave me a light green spot, and I then moved that up a little bit from that spot to just brighten that up. So it's simply this color brightened up a little bit in here with a color picker. That's all I did to gain that. The reason I did it this way is that this color then very closely matches that color. So it all feels correct. Last little trick in here. Let's go back here to our ellipse. Let's go back to our effects. Double click to bring the layer styles back up again. Let's just give it a little bit of a drop shadow in here. Come down to drop shadow. I'll set my angle up here a little bit to the upper left. I kind of like using 135 as a number. And bring our distance out just a bit. And bring the size up to soften that out a little bit. And choose OK. That just puts a little bit of separation right in there from our background picture. And there we go. There is doing a circular logo here in Photoshop and putting your text around the logo, right side up at the top and correct right side up at the bottom. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button and share. Consider supporting my channel through Patreon so I can keep on making these videos. And take a look at my complete training course for Photoshop CC. There's a link for that right down there in the description.